Good morning. I am Ashok Kumar Roy. I superannuated from the position of Chairman cum Managing Director of General Insurance Corporation of India, the only reinsurance company operating in India as of today. I have had the experience of about 29 years in non-life insurance company, 7 years in reinsurance company, and parallelly I also had a good exposure in the working of life insurance because I was director in Life Insurance Corporation of India. So this virtually gives me a 360-degree exposure to the insurance industry and its operations not only in India but around the globe. That makes me very passionate about this sector, and I am going to speak to you about the various facets of this sector as it exists today. Insurance industry in India today is in a phase which is evolving. We have in our country insurance industry which has seen three phases. Earlier it was private insurance companies in the country. Then a phase came when the industry was nationalized, and now we have the industry where both private and public sector companies are operating, and it is being regulated by IRDAI, which is the Indian regulator, and the regulator came into being after the market was opened. I would like to inform you that almost across the globe insurance industry is getting regulated. There is a body named International Association of Insurance Supervisor. This is the body which is a coordinating body of all the regulators of all the countries. They have laid down certain core principles named as insurance core principles. Now these principles are the guiding principles for all regulators, and all regulators across the globe are trying to align their regulations around these core principles, and that is how insurance is getting almost developed in the same manner in all countries of the world. In India, the driving force behind growth of the sector has been motor and health. However, there are gaps, and regulator is trying to bridge these gaps, but it is going to take time before the sector fully develops around those areas, and we are on a smooth path of growth and development. We are in the process of evolution in the insurance sector, and coming days are going to see lot of activities in this field. The gaps are primarily in catastrophic insurance. We have seen whenever there is a cat event taking place, we find that the gap between insured property and uninsured property is huge, and this is the gap which need to be capped, and it is where regulator as well as the industry both has to work together to bring more and more assets under the insurance umbrella so that the gap is minimized. Another stumbling block is lack of insurance awareness. This leads to low penetration, so not many people are aware and they don't take insurance cover, and this is the reason why this sector is still having huge potential for development and growth in the coming years, provided we put the basic building blocks in place. We have seen Government of India taking a number of initiatives like they have put in place few basic insurance covers, coupled with the fact that no frill bank accounts have been opened for most of the Indian population. We can say for sure that the basic groundwork is already done, and from here on insurance sector is going to take off smoothly. In India, the insurance sector works in this manner. We have life insurance companies, then we have non-life insurance companies, then we have a reinsurance company, then we have certain specialized insurance companies like health insurance companies, credit guarantee insurance company. In the name of ECGC, we have one company in that sector, and then we have insurance company for crop insurance, which is named as it is named as Agriculture Insurance Company of India. Coming back to the current status of the insurance sector in India, we have seen that there is a strong correlation between growth rate of GDP and the growth rate of insurance sector. As our growth rate is picking up, we are sure that the insurance sector will also start growing at a faster pace. This year we are seeing double-digit growth rate, and this coupled with the fact that awareness is also increasing, government is taking initiatives, and a certain no-frill insurance products have been launched by the government of India, which is available to the masses at a minimum KYC. All this is going to give a fillip to the insurance premium, and the premium growth in this sector is bound to accelerate in the coming years. When a sector grows, it requires manpower, and this is more true for the insurance sector, where we don't have machineries, we don't have equipments, we only act through manpower, and manpower is required for all the activities of insurance sector, which is compartmentalized into many sectors, which I am going to just put before you. Starting from distribution, a large number of insurance educated people are required for distribution of the insurance products, because this is a specialized area, so it cannot be done any other way but by physically discussing and making the client understand what the product is, and then making it available to the potential buyer. Second field for this sector is marketing. Marketing of this product is very, very important, and for a person to be proficient marketer, he need to understand the products very well, and that requires a very deep understanding of the market requirement, the products available, needs of the customer, and all these requires a good amount of broad understanding of the entire gamut of insurance operation. Then you have underwriters. Underwriters are the technical people who evaluate each and every proposal and then take a decision on whether to accept that risk, and if so, at what terms and conditions and at what price. So that is again a very specialized area, and every insurance company requires a good quality of underwriter to ultimately become a profitable company. Then you have another area, that is actuarial sciences. Every insurance company requires a good number of resource in the field of actuarial science, because insurance sector operates on basically the data, the large number of data, the trends and the projections. All this only an actuarial science person can really understand properly and bring out the meaningful information out of the basic data available which the industry generates, and then take various actions, various decisions for the company based on those results of the analysis of data. Another area which is required for this sector is analytics. Apart from analyzing the data for meaningful information by the actual science people, there is a lot more data is being acquired by these insurance companies which has different hidden information for the sector. Now therefore business analytics is one major area of the requirement of insurance sector on which you can find a career. Nowadays all the insurance companies are operating on IT platforms, and there is a continuous need for its improvement and upgradation, which requires a large number of IT experts who are also well versed with the insurance operations, and these kind of people are always an asset for the insurance companies. So this is another area where you can find good opportunity for employment and growth. In India till date hardly any research and development is taking place, but there is one area where in the coming days there is going to be huge demand for the professionals who can really analyze the data, do field research, come out with various products which are useful to the buyer and profitable for the insurance company. So that is one area which will develop in coming days. Another area of specialization which insurance industry requires is risk management. When we say risk management, what it means is that there are experts who analyze all the risk exposures and then decide which are the risks which can be managed without risk transfer and which are the risks which need to be transferred to the insurance companies. Now this is an area, it's a specialized area which every insurance company requires on its role so that they can guide their clients appropriately and avoid the situation of over purchase of insurance, because over purchase of insurance is also a waste of resources. So this is one area which is going to be a major source of employment across the country. Few more areas are like legal experts are required. When we are dealing with insurance products, we are basically dealing with legal documents. Each insurance policy is nothing but a contract which has to be legally enforced in case of need. Therefore, a good understanding of the legal requirements of these products are necessary, and therefore each insurance company employs a good number of legal experts who are well versed with the legal aspects as well as the insurance products. So there is a area of insurance experts with legal background, and that is one area which is open, which is going to open a good avenue for the young students. Another area is modeling. In fact, modeling is a very, very important aspect of operation of each insurance company. They need to model the various catastrophic events to understand in what way it is going to affect the finances of the company, what kind of losses are going to take place, and how they can be properly taken care of by risk mitigation. So this is an area which will open up doors for the risk modelers in the insurance company. Because of regulations coming into force, a new area has developed, that is of compliance. Today each insurance company needs professionals who take care of the various compliances of regulations, not only of the insurance regulator but other regulations like company law and all other law of the land. It is necessary for each insurance company to operate within the legal framework of the country, and if they are operating on a global scale, then the regulations of other country as well. So there is a huge requirement and there is a huge dearth of good professionals in this field in our country, and I can see that there is going to be good demand for such professionals. Insurance company issues policies, but their basic job is to meet all those responsibilities when there is a claim, and this is done by claim processing professionals. So this is another area to have knowledgeable claim processing professionals who can settle claim faster. So this is another area of profession available in the field of insurance, good claim settling officials. And this is an area where a person is expected to understand the details of what the policy is, and then in what way the liability is attaching to the policy and how quickly it can be processed and settled. Once this happens, the servicing part of the insurance policies will improve in our country, and once that happens, it will add more and more confidence into the insurance company, and more people will get attracted to buy insurance policy. Even today, we find that many people do not take insurance policy for the basic understanding that insurance companies don't pay claims. And this happens because the insurance settling officials are not well versed, and many a times they take much longer time to settle claims. And this will get mitigated if we have good quality of claim settling officials. In India, today both sectors are operating, that is government sector and the private sector. There are definite benefits of working with the government sector. First of all, even today, the majority of the insurance sector is under the control of government companies. For example, Life Insurance Corporation of India controls major chunk of life business. Similarly, the 4 non-life insurance companies of Government of India, they control major part of the non-life business. Now these companies give you a better exposure, all India exposure, and the kind of risk that you are able to see through these companies are of much larger magnitude, and this gives a much better exposure of understanding risks of the various sector. Government insurance companies also give you the opportunity to operate in more than one aspect of insurance. Like the same person will get exposure to underwriting, claim processing, marketing and distribution. This makes you a better insurance expert in the medium term, and this adds a market value in your overall experience. And once you switch over from an insurance company to another insurance company, that time you realize the benefit of this experience that you have gained in the government sector. The fact is that even today, many of the insurance professionals which are working with the private companies have come out of these government companies, and they have given lot of value to those private companies because they have carried with them huge exposure, huge experience, huge learning and huge understanding of the sector, and the private sector has benefited out of this. Once you have the experience of working with a government insurance company for few years, it adds a lot of value to your profile, and you get the advantage of this when you switch over, whether in India or overseas. We find that the employees who are with these insurance companies are now operating in the markets like Dubai, Malaysia, Singapore, London, then some of the African countries. They have all gone out from the government sector insurance companies in India. So there is definitely an advantage of starting your career with one of the government sector companies initially, gain the experience for a few years, and then switch over at a much higher pay packages overseas. I'll give my example of how I joined the sector. It was the year 1979 when insurance was not known to many people. I had just come out fresh from the engineering college and I joined the sector as their starting officer level post. Those days it was called Assistant Administrative Officer. Gradually I rose with the company. I was working with Oriental Insurance Company Limited. I operated as various levels like branch manager, division manager, senior division manager, and DGM and GM. Only after becoming GM, I switched over to General Insurance Corporation of India as a reinsurance company. Now, all these years, I basically operated as property risk underwriter, and simultaneously I was also settling claims. So all this gave me a lot of exposure of various sectors and industries. For example, I got an opportunity to underwrite a bullock cart on the lower side to an aircraft on the other side. I had the opportunity to visit nuclear power plants, refineries, auto industry, and whatnot. This kind of exposure which you can get in the insurance field, I do not see this kind of opportunity available in any other sector. When I came to General Insurance Corporation of India, it was the reinsurance company. A reinsurance company basically operates as a bulk risk transfer of the insurance companies, and this works at the global level. What actually is done is that all the risk is cut into small pieces and then spread over across the globe, so that if there is any major event, nobody gets a pinch beyond what it can actually absorb. So this is a beautiful system of transferring risk from one entity to another, and whenever there is a loss, everybody contributes a small bit so that finally the person who has covered its risk gets fully paid. Insurance industry in India is at the takeoff stage. We are 1.25 billion population nation. People are generating wealth. Per capita income is on the rise, and coming days with accelerated good GDP growth rate, we are going to see that more money is going into our pockets. We'll have more disposable income. We'll have more assets created for ourselves, and we will need risk management for our assets, which will help us jump the insurance requirements. Therefore, in coming years, insurance in India is going to see manifold growth, and it will require a large number of insurance trained professionals in the various fields which I have already spoken of, and therefore this sector is going to give a lot of opportunities for people who are enterprising, who wants to work for the people, for the country, and therefore my advice would be that please join this sector. This sector is very, very useful. This sector is very, very charming. This sector is very, very promising, and ultimately this sector is paying also well. It is paying well. The job requirements are such that you can have a good work home balance. You can take care of your families better and also have a satisfying professional satisfaction. You also get a lot of satisfaction when you see that you are actually helping a person who is in need. What we do, we provide an insurance cover, and when the person is under distress, we compensate for the losses suffered by people. It gives you a very good feeling that you are actually helping or coming at the help of a person when person was badly needing it, and that gives you a lot of satisfaction. This has been my personal experience, and that is why I would repeat that this is one of the very, very noble profession. I'll put it at par with medical and nursing profession. I am really thankful to Jaro Institute of Technology, who have given me the opportunity to come and deliver this talk to you, which I feel is going to fulfill a great need that was there, and I'm sure with this I have been able to give you an overall view of the insurance sector, and I look forward to more such engagements with Jaro Institute of Management.